Wife broke a broom on my back update. I left the house after me and my wife got into a huge argument over chores. And she assaulted me with a broom. The broom was wood so it broke. I don't have any serious injuries on my back. But I do have bruising and swelling. I was extremely pissed off when I wrote my last post because everything had just happened and I left out a lot of details. My wife is 23 and I am 28. We've been together for almost 4 years and we have 3 kids together, all girls. She didn't have PPD with our last 2 kids, but when she gave birth to our newborn she fell into depression that she did not tell me about until after she hit me and I threatened to leave. I went back home 12 hours later after cooling myself down. And started working on seam things for work. She woke up and told me she wants to talk to me about what happened yesterday. She apologized for attacking me and told me she did it because I made her reach her breaking point. She said she's tired of doing most of the housework by herself and she feels like I've been neglecting her and paying more attention to the kids than her. She said she's been feeling depressed and can't get out of bed sometimes. Before I could say anything she started crying and I comforted her. We didn't continue the conversation because she cried herself to sleep. I didn't know she was feeling that way. I'd see her laying in bed a few times before, but I just thought she was tired, not depressed. I am glad everyone in the comments informed me on what PPD is and how serious it is because now I know. I couldn't imagine what she's going through. I am not going to press charges on her because she's suffering and she needs my help. When she wakes up I am going to talk to her about seeing a therapist and ask her how I can help her get better. She's not a violent woman and she's never hit me in the past, so I am not going to divorce her and kick her out to go to the streets while she's raising my kids. I am thankful for everyone who gave me advice on how I can get through this. You are handling it well, but she physically assaulted you and is now blaming you for it. That is completely wrong and you cannot accept that. She assaulted you because she lost control and assaulted you. Period. Responsibility for that is 100% hers. Yes, you can and should get her help for her postpartum emotional disorder, but do not forget or downplay what she did and do not let her minimize it or gaslight you about it. It will be important for her doctor to know exactly what happened. To quote people who are usually hysterical and annoying, think of the children. What happens if she hits the kids because they made her reach her breaking point, or because she's jealous they get all the attention, as they should because they're children? The correct treatment for PPD is therapy and possibly medication, not hitting other people and saying it's their fault for making you do it. In all seriousness, there is absolutely no guarantee she won't hit the kids next and do quite a bit more damage. A man hitting his partner and saying depression plus a delay in doing chores made him do it wouldn't be seen as remotely acceptable, and this absolutely shouldn't either. She did it because I made her reach her breaking point. Look what you made me do. She's not a violent woman. She literally is. Please leave this abuser. She just blamed you for her physically assaulting you. What the fuck? She apologized for attacking me and told me she did it because I made her reach her breaking point. She fucking what? I don't know about this. I also suffered from PPD with the birth of my son, but it never led to me assaulting anyone. She broke a broom over your back, it was a weapon and she could have managed to kill you. She certainly needs to get therapy, but I can't help but feel as though you're being too passive and too eager to blame this on PPD. She should still be able to control herself, her actions. If she gets to her breaking point with her crying child, will she shake it to death or just find another broom to weaponize? Proceed with caution. You need to tell her this a deal breaker. She needs help and assault is not okay. If it would have been you hitting her with a broom, this situation would have been completely different. You're making a lot of excuses for your wife. You have young children, they do need to be your priority. Not to the extent you ignore your spouse, but paying more attention to young kids is sort of part of being a parent. It's also concerning that this conversation ended with you comforting her and her crying, despite her violently assaulting you. If you punched her in the face because she drove you to your breaking point, not a single person here would act as if you were the victim. How much longer until her competitive feelings towards her own child end up manifesting in a violent way? God, you are a sad cunt. Don't come back when the next big thing happens. Therapy is a great idea for her. You just have to reevaluate your relationship and look at where you can be more supportive to both her and your family as a whole. You're an idiot. I can't believe people get mad enough to physically harm their spouses to begin with. I've never even yelled at my hubby fearful, hope it works out with guys. Hey op, what would you do if one day your daughter had a boyfriend who breaks a broom over her back and then just cries a bit about how depressed he is, and she stays with him? I am genuinely wondering. Yo, if you broke a broom over her back, you'd be in cuffs right now. I am going to leave it at that. Maybe you can look into filing this to the police, but don't press charges. This can save you if things get bad and you end up in divorce court. I know you have read stories of these things starting off like this. It will take one lie and you end up in cuffs and you lose your daughters and end up paying her alimony and child support. Tread carefully. NVM about the charges, you don't get to decide in domestic. The cops do. Best of luck. She assaulted you and blamed you. This is really dangerous. This may just be me reiterating from the previous post, but you should take this more seriously. If it is truly PPD or PPP, you are not equipped to handle this alone. She needs to be evaluated by a physician. You need to be upfront about everything that is going on. I mean, wear a condom. 3 kids at 23? Who wouldn't go crazy? If you can't afford a housekeeper or a nanny, you shouldn't be having more kids. I'd still be separating from her. Assault is still assault. If the genders were reversed, everyone would be screaming black and blue, leave him. Depression is never an excuse for anything like this. Be sure to update us when she hits you again. So you guys have been together 4 years, since she was 19 and you were 24, and you already have 3 kids, huh? So nothing happened and your kids are still in danger. At least check them for bruises daily. Been there, done that. I ended up going to jail for being assaulted. Go figure. She violently attacked you, then blamed you, and you bought it. Congratulations. So, she hit you, then she blamed you, fought it, and then you comforted her. You gave her positive reinforcement for doing that, and you didn't call her on her lie either. How exactly do you think the relationship will develop given these influences and patterns? If you love your children, you will remove them from this situation. Right now you are a victim of abuse who is choosing to side with your abuser. A classic abuser trick, she made herself the victim. And you fell for it hook, line and sinker. You need to divorce this nasty human. Your wife is a manipulative piece of shit that is now using mental problems as an excuse to blame you for assaulting you. This is exactly what abusers would do. By crying and putting on an act, she is trying to groom you into thinking any abuse that happens now is going to be your fault, for pushing her to her breaking point. This is classic psychopath behavior. If I were you, I would get proof that she assaulted you and contact a divorce lawyer so you can get full custody and get out of there. I would also press charges against her. She's a lazy bum that doesn't do shit in the house anyway, so she really doesn't deserve any sympathy here. So she said nothing about having any issues until she attacked you. Seems like a way to avoid responsibility and play the victim. Bro, you're kidding yourself. This is just the beginning of a risky game. She's not who she was anymore. She's a depressed mom who beat you with a broom. You ever watch an abusive person? Those people are depressed and feeling bad inside. Like your wifey. While PPD is real and it does sound like she needs some serious professional help, she did assault you. Are your kids safe around her? I am glad she's getting the help she needs, but you also have every right to leave her if you don't feel safe there. You need to press charges. She needs help. Imagine if she lost control with the wee one or one of the other kids. Think about that. Get her help as well. While you might be able to forgive what is a fairly brutal assault, I couldn't get past the blaming you, claiming you drove her to this. No, you didn't, unless that changes. You absolutely need to leave her. What the fuck? Dude, almost 80% of the comments were telling you that PPD did not make you hit your husband like that or provoke anything like she is doing. And #X200B. You literally did the complete opposite of what you were told. Strongly suggest you file an official report with the police so there's a record of this in case something else happens. You don't have to press charges if you don't want to. I think seeing a therapist would be great, however physical violence is never acceptable. She needs to be able to be responsible for her actions. Perhaps make sure this is brought up with a therapist, not pushed under the carpet? I have been pushed to my breaking point but never laid a hand or broom on anyone. Ever. Neither has anyone I know. You, Ebby 45, this guy could use your help. Lol, she hit you with a weapon and she gets comforted? She's 23 and the mother of 3 kids already, meaning that in the fewer than 4 years you've been together, she's cranked out one kid after another? Wow. I'm not at all minimizing what she did to you. I am no expert on PPD. But having that many kids so close together at such a young age sends up a red flag for me. Whose idea is it to keep reproducing with such frequency? Oh, the title wasn't metaphorical? I don't know, that's pretty bad. And unlawful. You can't do that. Hit her back and show her men are the dominant race, silly woman. She can go to her obgyn or even a PCP and get the ball rolling. I'd make that a priority, have to call today and make that appointment for the good of the children. I dealt with undiagnosed PPD for 5 years. In the end, it was taken care of, but damn, that was hell. PDD can be really intense, and postpartum anxiety, OCD and psychosis can coexist in different ways. If she seems like a completely different person, it's because she really might be. Violence is intolerable. Abuse is intolerable. But this doesn't sound like that, it sounds like mental illness. Be vigilant, be supportive, but also prioritize your health and the health of your daughters as your partner gets the support she needs from professionals. There should be support groups for partners in your shoes. I'm in a lot of PPD groups on here and Facebook, and the turmoil and pain and heartache is so difficult. I wish you luck. It gets better. You are a good man. I had PPD and I'm bipolar. I didn't hit my husband, but Elle needed help really bad. No one helped me. Bless you. Thank you for not leaving her. All these self-righteous people saying, "Dude, she's violent, dude, divorce her," have absolutely zero concept of what PPD is or what it feels like. I commend you on taking the higher road and the plan you are about to take. Unfortunately, you were the scapegoat. It isn't pretty what she did, and she would be hating herself for it and feeling like an utter failure right now. I assume you don't feel like the kids are in danger. You said she isn't a violent person. Don't listen to these people. She made a mistake, she's sick, she needs help and support. You want her to be happy and healthy. For her sake and for yours and the kids. Good luck, man. Being a parent is really tough, glad you're going to work through this.